Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new analysis. This week we will be looking at Tandem Riding, a story requested by Linus Mota. This story is based on the manga's 15th chapter and can be found at the beginning of episode 6. It begins with Tanabe-sensei telling the class that even though summer break begins tomorrow, it doesn't mean the students should go too crazy. Before going on, can I ask a favour of you guys? I've mentioned this before, but I live in Australia and we don't have summer vacation here. So could one of you explain to me how it works? Does it start the same day summer does, or the week of it, or the week with the most summer days? And when exactly does it end? If summer ends on a Thursday, do you have to go to school on Friday just to have a weekend the next day? Please let me know, I'm very curious as to how this whole summer vacation thing works. As soon as Tanabe leaves the room, the students become excited given that summer break is so close. Takeo and Kimura come up to Nishikata and discuss going to the beach the next day. They then begin to talk about what they will do during summer break. Meanwhile, Takagi looks on with a somewhat concerned expression. There is a reason for this that I will get into later. We cut to Takagi and Nishikata walking home together while Nishikata gets himself pumped up for summer break. With Takagi mentioning that it begins tomorrow, Nishikata says that with no school he can play as much as he wants. This good mood is somewhat sullied by Takagi's reminder that he has summer homework, and again, is that really a thing? Homework? For your holidays? And this good mood is completely inverted when she guesses that he's not going to do any of it tomorrow, given that it's only the first day. Nishikata asks how she knew, and Takagi tells him it was just a guess, and congratulates herself on getting it right. Nishikata tries to justify his lack of motivation for homework by stating that summer vacation is meant to be enjoyed. This comment about enjoying summer break brings back that concerned expression to Takagi's face. Nishikata talks about all the things he wants to do while on break, and ends it by saying that he wishes it could be summer vacation all the time. Takagi disagrees with this sentiment, stating that she likes school too because she gets caught on that line of thinking while she looks at Nishikata's dopey-looking grin, before ending the sentence with, "It's fun." And that is why she's been looking concerned throughout the story. Given her studious nature, she feels far more comfortable inside school than she is outside of it. Of course, I'm just playing around. She's concerned because she won't get to see Nishikata every day. This is one of the rare stories where the conflict doesn't revolve around teasing, and one of the even rarer stories where the conflict applies to Takagi, more so than it does for Nishikata. We then cut to Mana and Nakai tandem riding on Nakai's bike. Nakai is clearly struggling to spend his energy keeping the bike speed up, whereas Mano seems to be enjoying the breeze. They ride by Takagi and Nishikata. Takagi says that they should try to tandem ride with Nishikata in front. Nishikata says that they shouldn't because it's dangerous to tandem ride on roads with cars and whatnot. Takagi explains that they are not on a public road, so cars shouldn't be an issue. Nishikata tries to come up with a more reasonable excuse for not wanting to tandem ride before Takagi accurately predicts his real reason, that being that he is too embarrassed to tandem ride with her. He denies this outright, but when Takagi asks if he can't do it, he denies that too. He doubles down and says that he's opposed to tandem riding because it's too dangerous to do it on the road. Takagi has him right where she wants him. She suggests practicing on the empty lot, and Nishikata has no way to argue, given that he talked himself into a corner. We cut to the empty lot and see Takagi and Nishikata getting ready to try and ride together. Takagi tells him that if he can't do it then he owes her a juice, but Nishikata seems confident that he will get it. They take their feet off the ground for attempt 1, but only make it half a rotation before having to put their feet back down to prevent themselves from falling. Nishikata doesn't even need to turn around to see the face Takagi is making. He just says that the first attempt didn't count and he goes in for attempt 2. He fails again and Takagi exclaims that he'll just have to buy her juice, but Nishikata tells her to wait a moment. He then asks her if she is purposely throwing them off balance. She says that she's sitting how she usually sits and that if they can't do it, it's something that he is doing wrong. She then goes on the offensive, telling him that last time she tandem rode with someone they were able to pedal just fine. Nishikata is shocked by this and asks if it was with a girlfriend of hers. All Takagi says is that it wasn't with a girl. Nishikata suddenly becomes frustrated and goes for attempt 3. No good. He tells her that he almost has it and to give him one more go. Attempt 4. No good. Nishikata realizes that he is feeling frustrated but genuinely isn't sure why. But when Takagi asks why he's getting so aggressive, he says that he doesn't want to buy her juice. and this is the lie that he also tells himself in his head. He goes for attempt 5 and begins moving the bike. Takagi seems impressed that he managed to get moving. She decides that this is a good time to tell him that the last person she went tandem riding with was her dad, and that she would have only been 4 years old at the time. This catches Nishikata off guard and they both fall over with the bike. We cut to a nearby vending machine with Nishikata buying a drink and giving it to Takagi for not being able to tandem ride. He then goes to get the money for his own drink out of his wallet, but realizes he doesn't have enough. He realizes that if Takagi realizes he can't afford his own drink, she will make fun of him. Now, it might seem as though we are watching a totally different story here, and that's because, in a way, we actually are. This moment is not present in chapter 15 of the manga, but is instead featured as a bonus chapter 34.5, albeit this chapter takes place during summer break as opposed to right before it. Nishikata tells Takagi that he doesn't want a drink. Takagi offers him a sip of her drink, and as much as he wants to take it, he turns her down, thinking to himself that she will only tease him for an indirect kiss, just like she did an empty can. Takagi can see straight through this and insists that he have a sip, but Nishikata is adamant that he does not want one. Nishikata is now really feeling the heat and tells himself to endure it. It is at this point that he hears a can drop in the vending machine. Takagi hands him the drink, telling him that he'll get heat stroke if he doesn't have anything. Nishikata asks if he can really have it, and Takagi says that he really can, given that he is too embarrassed by an indirect kiss to take any of hers. Nishikata denies this but opens the juice and drinks it anyway. Takagi then says that they won't be walking home together for a while and suggests that they meet up at the empty lot to practice tandem riding until noon. Nishikata says that it will be fine just so long as they don't ride on the road, and Takagi insists that they will only ride on the empty lot. Nishikata wonders out loud if there's any point of practicing if they won't be riding anywhere, but Takagi insists that there is a reason. That reason being that summer vacation starts tomorrow. Nishikata doesn't understand what she means by this, but instead of explaining, Takagi says that they should go home. And just before the story ends, Takagi, for the first time, says that she's excited about summer vacation, and Nishikata even points out that she's only just saying that now. Now, for those of you who are just as confused as Nishikata, allow me to fill you in on what's just happened here. Takagi has resolved her conflict. She's been worried all afternoon about not being able to see Nishikata during summer, and this concern had dampened her excitement for a holiday. However, when she got him to agree to meet her to practice tandem riding, this meant that she would be seeing him over the summer break, solving her conflict and leaving nothing in her way for being excited about summer. And if you don't believe me, then look no further than chapter 51 of the Moto series, where Takagi more or less admits that this is exactly what she was doing. Another interesting aspect of this story is the frustration that Nishikata feels about the prospect of Takagi doing something seemingly intimate with another boy, even though he isn't sure why he is frustrated. Although we know why. It's because he's getting jealous. He likes Takagi, but as I've said before, he isn't ready to admit that to himself yet. You know, this kind of reminds me of a fan fiction for this show I read, written by someone who goes by the name of Jibber Jabber. I won't tell you the whole thing since I'll be leaving a link for it in the description, but I will tell you that it begins with a nightmare Nishikata is having about a world where he took too long to realize he was interested in her, and she moved on. I'd give it a read if I were you, it's freaking great. Anyway, that is it for this analysis. If you want to see the notes or outtakes, you can see them on my website for free, links in the description. If you want to see the films that I write and direct, you can see them on my parent channel, Big Joe Productions. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.